welcome back to my lovely IHP community and the 5D Collective. To those who love to do self-help, spiritual, mindful living and loving practices, you love to hear about empowerment and mystic stories and the 5D frequency. So those who choose to love, and they choose so with our ventral vagal state. We're going to start with the quote that I used in our short. So one, you will own your sense of self, narrative, relational, core self, and I forgot to mention the soul self when you're a person who is an inner child adult. So you see yourself soothed, safe, secure. You know how to self-regulate, and you enjoy self-regulation, accountability, and I said enjoy because you're enjoying the depths of your emotional, mental, and physical plane. That's why you are a master and or want to be a master of your depth. So you're also inclined to want to be yourself and to be the leadership material of you, but also to support others in times of need. We can use as many securely attached, safe haven, secure based people as possible, especially because there are those who don't want to stay in a 3D, 4D state of consciousness and or frequency. The ones who do, it is their free will to decide to maintain generational trauma, transgenerational trauma. They have unhealthy self-soothing mechanisms, unhealthy self-worth. They have no boundaries, nor do they know how to implement ventral vagal state. There's bountiful of funny people that we make fun of here because they're not biologically rude. No, they are biologically rude, which means that they're not choosing it. Which is why we can laugh inside and outside and make fun of the ones who will be Cuscos for the rest of their life, basically. Or squirrels from Cusco land, or Diego's family. And yes, I said make fun. But in a way of saying, let's not take, not making fun of them in, like, dehumanizing. Yeah, that's exactly why we have different stories. We're on a planet, it's called Earth. And we have those who want to maintain a survival mode. In fact, the fancy woman in suit, remember, she brutally dissects modern therapy and healing to tell you that the system is trying to keep you in prison. Like the choice of words are fabulous. I'm like, wow. And she's not an expert of anything except for she does what I do, but differently. It's for people. She does it for the people who want to stay in their Elsa mantle. And Elsa's not an empowered woman, by the way, in this case, okay? And so we use stories in very different ways, but when you're in a survival mode, you're not empowered. You're a squirrel from Cusco land who's an Elsa because you need to be your own superhero and then your own supervillain when you're in an upset mood, which is the only reason you would think that modern therapy and healing is going to be imprisoning you. Means you're wanting, in fact, the woman goes on to continue her decision of trying to dismantle good therapy, yes, by saying it is not true that it is inherently healthy and enlightenment to be non-reactive. And her big little fancy word says it's dangerous to show no emotion or dangerous to have no emotion, something like that. I'm like, wow, that's fascinating. It's not dangerous, actually. It's quite impressive that you don't know how to work with your own entire brain. No, it's not impressive. I'm actually being sarcastic. Yes, I'm not impressed by the masculines who don't own their own feminine or the distorted feminines, and they will know which one of the energetic imprints they think they are and that they will feel they are. And I know I'm a feminine. That's why, as an embodiment of a true feminine, I can tell you when I've met distorted feminines. And what about masculines? Well, it's once they embody their feminine, then they're masculine to me. Until that point, they're going to be a masculine in the making, a divine masculine in the making. I mean, it all depends, you know, what's going on. But basically, I'll just recognize their energetic imprint, know who they are, and that's basically, they won't know who I am. No, that's because, again, the fancy woman who's a distorted feminine or masculine doesn't know you cannot show no emotion and that it's never dangerous to be non-reactive. Actually, it's only dangerous if I were non-reactive in physically life-threatening situations, which doesn't happen because my body is smarter than my left mode. So the words that come out of any one of our assholes basically mean shit to our body. Oh, what was it Robert Sapolsky determined? That's right. So the first 3 years of your life, yeah, that's where instinct comes in. So I know my body. She's great. She does everything to protect this life. It's called Maria. And yes, pure consciousness and I, God and I, Akash and I, I'm an Akashic record reader. We're going to have some channel guidance messages in a minute. Yeah, in a little bit. I'm all good. All you need is love. Dun, 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 dun. All you need is love. 5D is Christ consciousness. I love you, Jesus. High five. So, other people can only create situations. They may say or do something, but whether you suffer that or not is your choice. Thank you, Sadhguru. So, the people who don't own their brain, what was it, Lisa? Lisa Feldman Barrett. The brain is running a model of its body. So, the brain uses past experiences to decipher what it senses. I see. Let me think. Wait a minute. Hey, Pat Ogden, what the body? When we learn to read the body and track its language, that's the somatic narrative. It's the narrative of the body. The verbal story is secondary to the somatic narrative because the body really speaks and can't be deceived by minds. Pat Ogden, thank you. But see, your past lives within you. So when you hear a woman telling you to let your emotions out, or any man or anyone, whoever it is that doesn't allow you to understand, here's the equation. Do you know how to forgive all human beings? Do you hone in on suffering or resentment or grudges? Do you know how to have a gooey ooey and fun all the time? It sounds like a commercial, doesn't it? Do you know how to do this? The most fundamental job we have with regards to ourselves is to stay in the homeostatic states. Dan Hill, PhD. Do you know how to stay in your restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating, open-heartedness? Yeah, I do. Raise your hand. I do. I wouldn't even hurt. Meaning, I won't come at you with some cheap shot. Last time this happened, it was in a dream a long time ago, and even in my dream, I was like, Maria, that wasn't nice. And I was like, yeah, but that wasn't nice what he did either. But I was like, yeah, but still, that wasn't nice. And I went and I said, I'm sorry. I went up to the person in my dream and I apologized. They didn't deserve an apology, by the way. No, if I have to equate it, I can tell you, but that's not your choice. That's not nice. You just casted a stone and you played what? God? Are you playing God, Maria? Hey. And so that's when you know how to take things literally. And again, it's not a monstrous God. It's only a monster for the ones who didn't have a good childhood. Not joking right now. Oh, I know what the textbooks say. I can decipher them as a mystic my own way. In fact, actually, that's exactly why the ones who don't like it, they call the 5D mystics, and anybody who isn't choosing them as their leader, you're Luciferian, really now. You obviously don't know about Patrick McNamara, neuroscientist. There's no Lucifer anywhere in anybody. There's only their inner demons, which would be the family in the head, which they can get healed from good therapy. So whenever somebody wants to tell me there's demons, I'm like, nope, not really. Didn't meet any. When people are spiteful teenagers, they're not demonic to a person that has empowerment. That's why the lady, again, she doesn't know anything about what it's like to be non-reactive. I do. It's fun. Other people, again, can only create situations. They may say or do something, but whether, I don't do sufferings. Oh, hey, it's a heart. It's not personal, Maria. As a teenager, somebody said that, and I noticed if I kept my heart open, I processed the emotion. It's not. So I don't do things out of spite. And whenever I have had people do things out of spite as a teenager, I noticed that, and I remembered what Jesus, God, and everybody else. No, Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit taught me. Whether you say God is everywhere or you say everything is one energy, it is the same reality expressed in different ways. And so what did I get taught? Well, I got taught how to be humble, how not to cast a stone, and how to continue being that which God made me to be. But how I would want to treat others was also very important, which is why I'm not an adaptive child. Even as a teenager, I wasn't. So what's an adaptive child? Adaptive, a child's version of an adult that developed to protect the wounded child. I don't have a wounded child, you see. I have a Jesus, God, Holy Spirit child who says, yep, I got it, God. I won't cast stones. I won't be unkind. I choose integrity because, I don't like the idea of hell. As a kid growing up, that's definitely something. And like, as I got to my 19-year-old, I said, hey, God, there's no devil, demon. I don't even know the hell shit. But basically, I know what I'm going to do. Keep walking the walk that Jesus taught me. And then I learned about Buddha and Sadhguru, and now I integrate it all in. So with spirituality comes something wild. The ones who don't like us, and they call us Luciferian, continue with their narratives, which is, what is it? Oh, perfectionists, harsh, unforgiving. They see the world in black and white. Yep, all or nothing. An older child, unable to learn skill, definitely. The low, emotional, mentally intelligent, physically are very unfascinating. You'll find them following that fancy woman and man in suit and copying them to a T, because they don't notice the lack of skills in learning new things. Basically going against their own thoughts and emotions and saying, you know what I believe and feel is falsifiable, which we're going to get to that quote in a minute. Functional adults, we know how to do that. It's That's why everything I'm talking about, it's not true necessarily. No, somebody probably, yes, can come on in and prove the complete opposite. That's a smart brain, which is why you're not trying to prove shit. No, you are leadership material when you own this shit. What's this shit right here? Own you. Show yourself. I'm dying to meet. I'm not afraid of the into the unknown. I'm actually excited. Me, this feminine, I love the unknown. Bring it on, God. I love it. He's always sent me some great shit. Oh yeah, but it's not shit. Oh, I learned a lot of skills. Cares only about self-preservation. Yeah, you know, this one's interesting. Views intimacy as a threat. That one actually is not interesting, but you see that when they treat you in certain ways. Oh, not only reacts to aggressor, but also identifies with aggressor. So, yeah, the fascinating thing about the fancy woman and man in suit, their adaptive child parts are leading the way. They don't know about their wounded child, nor do they want to. And the functional adult, well, we make thoughtful decisions, but also we're smarter than they are. I mean, why they won't know. Oh, also their right mode is not online. If they're looking in my eyes, I'm going to see right through them. They're going to begin to perceive shit that comes up because I'm a somatic empath. And there's always something beneath the surface as you've completely pushed it down. Yes, even if you're armored in shut, doesn't mean it went anywhere. You see, that's what happens when you shove shit down. I'm not joking with y'all. It's unfortunate business. I have some stories. I won't tell them on purpose this time. Yeah, as a mystic. But what I wanted to share was also, if intelligence is the ability to respond to any argument, wisdom lies in knowing which arguments to respond to and which parts of an argument to respond to. Bo SEO. Yeah, that's very true. That was not the one that I wanted to read to you, though. The one that I really want to read to you is, and then we're going to wrap this up and move on to our next topic of the day, which involves a little bit of channeled guidance. If your beliefs are not falsifiable, if there's no scenario that could convince you that your most cherished opinions, I would say also emotions and thoughts and all that past stuff that take place and is in here, are in error, then that's proof that you didn't get them by being in contact with reality. So being in contact with reality means that you know you have thoughts and emotions with a subjective experience, that the brain is running a model of your body, so you need to know your somatic narrative. If your inner child is not owned by you, you don't own your somatic narrative, nor do you own the verbal one yet. No. So again, Lisa Feldman Barrett, thank you very much for your contribution, and Bezel Vanderkolk informs us that the body keeps a score. We also have Kristen Lindquist, powerful emotions feel like irrefutable facts to those who don't own themselves. 3D-4D states of consciousness. They don't own themselves. They show yourself. I'm dying to meet you. Yes, so they like to pretend. Dun, 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 dun. What's that? Obladi oblada. Obladi, the beginning of it. Human is not a resource, thank you, Sadhguru. A human being is a tremendous possibility. With the right nurturing, they will blossom into someone remarkable. Sadhguru, again, just making sure I quote. And your contribution to the world is you, how you live, how joyful you are. Everything has an impact. Thank you again, Sadhguru. Also, spirituality is a way of living with meaning and connection beyond the solo self, which means that you care about each other's emotions, which is also why, as Bill O'Hanlon says, LMFT, it's not enough to ask people about a positive experience. It's about savoring the experience and getting them to stay with it. So every word you utter, every action you take, your very existence, Sadhguru, is it for everyone's well-being or is it just about you? And here's where I'm going to share a couple of notes. When I read the quotes for the Sadhguru one about when other people can only create a situation, but you're the one who decides if you're going to suffer it or not. The only time you begin to have a choice is when you are a human who owns your sense of self. If you don't own your sense of self, then I'm not going to expect you to be anything except for the Cusco attitude that you're going to bring to me the minute that anything happens that you are unappreciative and unhappy about. In fact, that's exactly why for the people who do own their self, I'm going to use this one right here. Wait for it. There's a quote. We read about it. That's not it. One more, I think. If you have been put through unpleasant situations in life, you should not bring them to anybody else, right? He says sensible. A person won't be sensible. They would have to want to take ownership of thought and emotion. They're not separate entities. The way you think is the way you feel. So when you're feeling anything, if you're harboring that which is resentment, anger, stress, you're going to project it if you don't know how to work with your regulating nervous system and want to bring the version of you that is in a ventral vagal state. Okay, so whether you experience stress, anger, fear, or any other kind of negativity, there's only one basic cause: being ignorant of your inner nature. You don't own the sense of self. Observe, witness, narrate. You don't own the core self. So there might be shame, blame, whatever it is, narrative, relational, solo self. So you don't know how to self-regulate, self-attune, which is why I'm still looking for the one quote. It was about when something goes wrong, from Sadhguru again, that's when you're going to find out everything about you, but you're also going to find out everything about somebody else. So yeah, when things go wrong in life, that is when it shows who you are. When things go well, everyone, he says, can pretend to be fantastic. Okay, so when you have a person who doesn't know how to live in the 5D mindful way that we talk about, and to be open to vulnerability, and so to choose to continue to be yourself, they feel safer to hold grudges and to be with boxing gloves, which means they want to lash out, and they will lash out with all of that past. And that's why a healthy self-worth human being adult is an inner child adult here at IHP. We won't be doing what other individuals do. It will be this fancy lady thinks we have no emotion because she doesn't know how to do it. It's called I'll be non-reactive because you didn't do anything to my ego, to my personality, to my heart. You just did what Cuscos do. You're not Lucifer. You're not evil. You're not passive aggressive. You're not even manipulating words from my brain. My brain actively doesn't think of your words as something that are sharp weapons, because sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. Yeah, that's actually how it works for a person who grows up. To learn how to keep a heart open, raise your hand, because as teenagers, the only time I actually felt those words as sharp, and the one time it happened, it's not personal, Maria. You're right, it's not. As soon as I took away the emotional part and just let you use words, I'm actually having a good time now. Wow, this is getting better and better by the year. And then you get to completely be in the enlightenment vibration, because your restorative embodiment is what you are in. And so that's what, again, you get to do here. You become your own true leader. In fact, harnessing is what we're going to talk about next. And you are also yourself. So it's not a competition. But I will tell you this, God is benevolent. I say this because there are those who can and there are those who can't. There are those who will and there are those who won't. When I see that fancy man in women's suit, I'm not happy to see them out there, but I know of people who enjoy seeing them because they want to project their unresolved shit, all of it. So when things go wrong, that's when you get to see what their mood still holds. And that's the moment that they don't know what's going on inside of your brain, because you won't be flinching 1 inch. Because you'll be empowered enough. Also, it's not bad manners to be biologically rude. It's actually explainable, because you don't own your 14-month-old. You don't own your 12-month-old. You don't own anything. I'm in the presence of an unconscious, subconscious 0-8-year-old. Why would I want to lecture that? It's a human. I'm not your therapist. I'm not a codependent. I'm not a stupid human being. Stupid human beings think they can convince egos of shit. And I'm not saying it to be mean, but I've met plenty of people who don't understand biological rudeness is not a choice. They keep on saying, but yes, I didn't know. It's not. You don't know about Dr. Daniel Fox. Nobody chooses anything. You don't know about. If you understand these therapists, they will explain to you how the brain works. If you want to hear what they have to say, then you're going to understand. If you don't, and you're just looking to look like a copycat, that's why you got people saying, no, but they know. I want to get in my pissy pants because I want to blame them about shit. You're just choosing to vent and be reactive versus understand that they don't hear you. And you're not their therapist. And even if you can, there's other people, they actually go out of their way to manipulate. Don't get me started on that one. Yeah, that is a very not nice thing to do. But you know what Cuscos do? They go hang out with each other. So they got to have fun. I will not in any way, shape, or form manipulate a person. I will tell you to your face what I'm thinking. That you might talk to me, you can. I will. That those sentences, when I've heard people how they want to do it, I'm just thinking that's messed up, because that means you are okay with actively. It's a coward's game, manipulation. You see. You would rather manipulate than have what is an honest, open conversation with a human being. It doesn't matter how you pose it. That's why it's not Lucifer. You're a coward to not be able and actively have what is called a confrontation. I don't have an issue because I got a twin. Let's remember that. That's why determined is important, because I'll tell you what I think, and then I'll tell you more. And if you get offensive, I won't get offensive, because that's the minute of truth where I'm going to know exactly how I want to behave as Maria, which is not by cursing. My mother taught me how to be polite, and I agree with that, which is why I'm not going to come back at you with some low blow comment. I'd rather be able to leave the room. Also, again, you're not hearing me anyways. So when people do this thing that they think they can teach each other how to get out of maladaptive, you don't. You don't teach a person how to walk a walk and talk a talk by treating them in the very way they're treating you. Not only do you stoop to their nervous system level, you also stoop to the behavior they're already expecting to have. You all are giving in to their generational household trauma shit. It's basically Diego's family. So you've done nothing except for play out what is a little karma wheel. Uninteresting to person who's empowered, uninteresting intellectually, uninteresting on all levels, humanly speaking. And now that I'm grown up, I get to explain it. As a kid, I didn't need to explain it to myself. I said, I'm not going to treat you the way you're treating me. I know how to be a person that is of integrity. And never once do I look back and think, you should have done differently. No, because most of the people that I've ever met, yeah, let's just say casting stones is really easy for people. Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Others make it happen. Michael Jordan. So when I meet true balls, it's going to be because it's a person who knows how to be non-reactive. Pachas. It means they don't cast stones. It means they got all their child parts, all of it. As long as you got one little piece of some shit you're judging humanity for, I'm going to notice it, because I'm a person who... I learned how not to cast a stone as teenagers. This is because of God, not because of some fictitious. This is the biggest difference for a person of spirituality that comes with God, is we don't play God. We know what the difference is with people who are. It's so clear as day. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because of, we need to prove spirituality. You're all Luciferians. Sure we are. Yes. Have fun, 4D. So, the fun stories we're going to have. Anyways, 3D-4D people, leave them alone. They're going to continue with their adaptive child. Doesn't feel safe to be their self. That's all I was trying to get to. It's not funny. It's not sad. It's a choice. And when they're following ignorant human beings out there and not noticing that they aren't getting smarter, they're just getting more rigid. Not my business to tell you that you're becoming an obtuse, ignorant human being and actually not noticing that you're skewing everything based on one group and one side. I don't need to lecture Cusco. I'm going to have fun not lecturing anyone, because I want to have a good time. I got 24 hours. Let's hang out. So smart people are the 5D. Oh, yeah, we know nothing's happening. I mean, hopefully no asteroid hits us tomorrow. God always wins, so it's all good. Peachy cheeky. Yeah. Oh, by the way, when people are like, but you are pretending. No, I'm not pretending. I use my prefrontal cortex, but I can't prove it to you. I'm not going to try to. And when smart people understand how the brain works, because you explain it to them, like, because you learn it, they're like, oh. And that's because they have eyes to see, because they have hearts to feel, because they're growing what is a real relationship with you, because they want to see you. Oh, when people love you for real, they accept you with all your imperfections and flaws, and they continue to see who you are for real, and they don't paint a fucking picture of anything at all. The most amazing of experiences is when you build true relationships. Yes, our oversoul. They teach us all about it. So come back for more if you're curious. In the meantime, again, leave alone the ones who want to, unless you're one of them. Meaning, if I have fun, have a great time. Hopefully we'll still see you back here, because we have a good time with all people. I have fun watching Tom and Jerry as they chase each other around, Pinocchio on the island. I just don't get involved in any of the drama. But I have the fun stories to share because of those people. What would it be? What would it be if everybody had heaven in their body? Yeah, you know what? There's, again, thank you so much, God, for giving us choices. I really love it. And human evolution. So there's that. I have a million ways I'm going to be presenting to all of y'all how you can be a hero. No. You can be yourself. Everyone gets a trophy. Who's pissed right now? Nobody. And if you are, boo-hoo for you, because everyone does get a trophy. I'm not joking with y'all. I have everyone gets a trophy. If I needed to break it down in serious tones, I would, but I'm having fun with it. So serious tones is that it's not funny to think of any person that has had transgenerational or generational trauma, the fancy man and woman suit, and all of those 7 to 14 charming. I'm not joking. I'm not choking or joking. It's sad that they don't know what they're missing out on. But they believe everything that comes out of their fucking mouth. In fact, they don't know how to do the falsifiable thing. No, they know how to say lack of imagination for evil. Let me go and brutally dissect new therapy methodology and healing. And let me write in big bold letters how it's dangerous to have no emotion. Oh my God. I'm like, that's just fabulous. Gives me material to work with. So again, come on over. Let's have fun. Oh, 5D Mystic. We got some channel guidance in a little bit. So we have some beautiful energies. And again, thank you so much for stopping by.